South Korea's Ministry of Patriot and Veterans Affairs revealed last week that it'll inspect several sites in China related to Korea's independence movement to see what condition they're in terms of preservation. Our Hong Yoo visited some sites in the city of Harbin to do her own checkup.
Harbin, a beautiful city located in northeastern China, is not only a popular tourist hotspot, it was also seen to the historic independence movement led in part by beloved Korean independence activist Ahn Jung-geun. Ahn was the hero who helped wrestle Korea's sovereignty back from Imperial Japan. The dark days of the early 1900s, when Korea was colonized by Imperial Japan, brought Ahn to Harbin with the purpose of murdering Ito Hirobumi, the Japanese supervisor of Korea, or Chosun as it was known at the time.
Harbin train station looks a little different today, but it was here in 1909 where Ahn shot Ito, a historic event for South Korea's struggle for independence from Imperial Japan.
The platform where it happened was preserved in remembrance of Ahn Jung-geun's bravery until 2015, but it's no longer there. Even the Ahn Jung-geun Memorial Museum that opened in the station in 2014 has been removed. The museum has been temporarily relocated inside Harbin Korean National Art Museum.
A lot of people visited the museum, especially South Koreans' interest in Ahn Jung-geun increased, and so the museum was able to let people know why he's such an important figure in our history. That's why we're trying our best to make sure the museum gets its place back when construction is complete.
But it remains to be seen whether the museum will get its place back. It will have to wait until reconstruction work is finished in 2020. Ahn stayed in Harbin for 11 days, and during that time he stayed in Kim Sung-baek's house, the leader of Chosun society residing in Harbin, who worked to solve any problems they faced living in the Chinese city. Yet this house, that's such an important part of Korean history, has not been preserved at all. Instead, it's home to a local resident. Likewise, all these historic places that show Ahn's movement in Harbin are not being well managed. The chief researcher of Korea Cultural Heritage Policy Research Institute agrees the historical sites are not being well preserved.
In order to manage our historical sites efficiently, a private sector foundation must be created that is composed of experts in the field. The government's role would be to support this foundation monetarily. This would improve the foundation's overall management.
In fact, historical sites in Harbin were mostly taken care of by Korean activists until the early 2000s. Government efforts only started when the public demanded they support the work of Koreans trying to preserve the sites. With the uncertainty in the air, it's hoped the government can cooperate with the private sector to preserve and effectively manage these historical sites that are so dear to Koreans around the world. Hong Yoo, Arirang News, Harbin.